Autocross course designers love setting traps for drivers. A trap is a slow element that comes after a fast element. Traps punish inexperience and overconfidence. Trap elements don't all look the same, but one thing they have in common is that they can cost you a ton of time. The course laid out on the .526-mile oval track at this event featured a super fast sweeper followed by a tricky trap that tripped up a number of novices. This video shows my first and fastest runs and shares tips for tackling autocross traps. I'm up against 3 other drivers in Cam T. 2 of those drivers have beaten me at previous events this season. It's 85 degrees and partly cloudy. I'm getting used to how my 2000 GT handles with the RE71 RS tires, and I'm excited to attack this course at speed. My goal for run number 1 is to be aggressive without falling into the trap. My tires are set at 33 psi. .862. That was a decent first run. I was feathering the throttle in the sweepers due to cold tires, and I was a little too cautious in the trap. I know I'll be able to find more speed in the sweepers when I have more heat and less air pressure in my tires. The tough part of this course is the trap. Anytime I'm sending my stallion into a trap, I tell myself 2 things. A well-executed entry is essential, and my fundamentals will make me faster. The trap element comes right after the first super fast sweeper. There's a big right turn, followed by a big left turn. Entering too aggressively can lead to understeer that makes me slide past the first cone I need to backside. That can force me to make sharper steering inputs and run a slower line to get through the trap. If I can't make a correction in time, I'll DNF or hit a cone. Overcooking the entry into a trap makes it much harder to be fast through the trap. Sometimes finding speed requires slowing down. But there's a caveat. When you're entering a trap element, it is possible to be too cautious. I did well in the trap on my first run, but I was slowing down a little too much to get in. Finding the sweet spot between aggression and caution is key. Focusing on my fundamentals means identifying the important cones and attacking those cones correctly. My input timing, degree, and duration are crucial. I need to backside these 2 cones. This cone will help me determine my braking zone. I need to be on the brakes ahead of the cone, and my braking zone is relatively long. But I want to brake before I turn, and I want those inputs to be close together, but not overlapping. A big steering input on top of a big braking input will lead to understeer. It's worth mentioning that some drivers chose to use trail braking in this element. I want to be accelerating ahead of this cone to be fast out of the trap and into the gate. But being too aggressive on the throttle as I'm turning past the cone could lead to going sideways, which will cost me time. The slalom after the gate could also be considered a trap. If I execute the offset section correctly, I'll be going very fast heading into the slalom. I need to slow down to set my entry speed for the slalom so I don't overcook the first cone. Then use my fundamentals to backside the slalom cones and run a smooth, fast line. I tried to enter and exit the trap a little bit faster on each run. My 5th run ended up being my fastest. My tires are set at 31 psi. .326, 1.536 seconds faster than my first run. I was more aggressive in the first sweeper, which meant I was heading into the trap faster. I got on the brakes early, but I didn't slow down as much as I had on previous runs. I was able to avoid understeer and backside the first cone. Running a good line let me get on the throttle ahead of the exit cone, which allowed me to be really aggressive through the gate. I also did a good job of getting into the slalom without being late on the first cone. But I wasn't as smooth as I'd like to be in the slalom. Despite that, I was able to be faster through the slalom and be fast out into the second sweeper. But did I execute the trap well enough to take home a CAM-T trophy? First place by 1.106 seconds. And my 34.326 raw time was 13th out of 98 drivers. Getting caught in a trap element will cost you time on an autocross course. Focusing on your entry and your fundamental autocross skills will help you find speed. I'll post more results videos soon.